What's going on, everybody? Bad, bad, bad. Ugh. Not my usual, I tell you that. Not my usual. I'm here. That's all I can say. That is all I can say.
Hello.
What up, Keita?
You summoned?
You're so funny.
How are you?
I'm here.
Ooh.
I'm here.
Oh, I feel
I
that.
ain't supposed to be here.
You ain't supposed to be
I'm
here. What
normally
happened?
off. Uh, well, the guy I had that was supposed to be here today was ended up being sick, so I had to move some stuff around and come into the store today.
You
So
short staff. Hold on.
yeah, yeah. But thank God I got some folks hired and they're doing some training and stuff now. So uh, I'll be fully staffed. Got it.
My bad. I'm over here at work.
You say you at work still?
Yep. Late
Yep.
shift.
Yep.
It's all right.
Yeah, I got
I'm out at
about
8 o'clock your time.
eh, 8 o'clock my time, so that'd be 9 o'clock
9
your
o'clock.
time.
Yep.
Yeah, I got about 50 more minutes.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
been a slow
man.
day today.
It has. It has. Um, it has been. Um, Luckily, my lady that was here yesterday, a homegirl that was here yesterday. She had a customer, and they actually called back in and made their purchase today. So I'm appreciative of that.
That's right.
Because yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Jazz, what's up? Just Nola, what's up? Yeah, because I ain't supposed to be here today. Then the kid was um grandbaby. She was throwing up all over the place earlier.
Ooh,
So yeah,
is she
yeah,
okay?
it's
Just
just
sick or just
yeah, yeah. It's just like a little bug or something, man. And then you know now it's going to push me to have to work 6 days.
mm-mm.
So yeah, yeah, and solo.
Oh, that's
Yes,
the worst.
I
All
know.
6 days
It's
of
all good.
solo?
Huh? Oh man, I've been solo for the past 2 weeks.
Can nobody help you out?
Man, everybody just, I mean, I had a couple. So I mean, for my 2 off days, granted, yeah, I had people here for my 2 off days, but today was just one of those days where, like I said, a guy got sick, so he running a fever of 102. So
Mm, I'm sorry.
yeah, it is what it is, man. You know, if I wasn't a veteran at this thing, it'll be
It still
completely.
sucks. It still sucks.
Yeah,
Nobody
I
likes
know.
that crap.
I
Mm-mm.
know.
Miss me with the bells.
Oh man, I feel you. Hey, Justice for Brenda, what's going on? How are you doing today? Um, man, but you know me, I'm cooling. I'm cooling. Just know the lady, what you got going on today? Yeah, something definitely going around, man. Cause even like at the daycare, the lady was like, um, she was like, yeah, man, they got the flu, pneumonia, all kind of stuff in the daycare. I said, oh yeah, I don't know what it is.
Mm.
Still
It's
hearing
every.
it. I got COVID. Oh man. Let's see. Just recovering from what
You
wasn't
feel
the
better?
flu, what wasn't the COVID, but it was definitely something. Man, it's all kind of stuff out here. I know you was talking about it the other day, Keto. Was talking about that whole new strand of COVID.
Mm-hmm. I'm sick
Look,
too. I got what I got? I got what they call it? Acute sinusitis.
that's a whole bunch of words.
Ah! I call
Cute
it acute
sinusitis.
sinusitis, inflammation of the sinuses. Of course,
Yeah.
mucus and coughing. I was wheezing at one point, but they said it was a double sickness because it was triggered from the cold that I had at the beginning of March. After I felt better, whatever, something lingered or something like that, and it just got worse.
Mm-hmm.
Progressively, just got worse. So for the last almost 4 weeks now, I just been congested, can't breathe, like just been awful.
Yeah, that's how I was. When I was feeling bad, come to find out it was all anemia, damn
Mm,
iron low,
hmm.
and but I had all the symptoms. I had every single symptom that would have made you think that I had
COVID.
pneumonia.
Oh, pneumonia.
I thought I had pneumonia, but when they did the chest X-rays and my blood, when she got my blood work, she said, "Nah, you anemic. You got
Oh,
anemia." So I was like, because I had the headaches, but luckily I had no fever.
yeah.
That was the crazy part, no fever. Let's see, Just Nola said, yeah, that's what I said. I had to take a Z-Pack. Yeah. Brenda says fever 102, runny nose, headache, loss of appetite, can't smell this week. This is wow, week two. Week two, and you still got those symptoms with COVID. That's normally well, if you maybe I mean if it's been a week and then going into the second week, yeah, that's about normal. But if it's been a full 2 weeks, that's bananas.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy how people are just getting sick at once.
Yeah, justice for Brenda. Where do I know? I don't. I see everybody's names, but I don't know if I be knowing people. So, do I know you? Big guy. What's good? What's good, brother? What's good? What's good? I'm your cousin. Shit. Hey, look, but hey, one thing about it, two things for sure. I got family everywhere, so I would not be surprised. You got to send me a message, Pam. Send me a message, in my inbox, and we'll chop it. Cause I like to. Got it. Got it. Okay. Oh my gosh, what's going on? That is my fam right there, man. Man, it's been a long time. Oh my God, it's been a long time. How have you been? Andy, what's good? What's good? Man, yeah, we gotta talk. You still in the A, huh? Okay, okay. Um, man, I haven't really talked to the other side of the family that much. Um, I mean, I know, Kaylin's come out here and whatnot, hung out. You need a mattress? I got you. I got you. You know I got it. I got you. What's up, Andy?
Howdy, hi everyone. How's it going?
Hello.
Good, good. Still grooming. Okay. Man, I love to see. I love that, man. I love that. Still staying in the business. Okay. Nice. Andy, how your day been?
It was very productive. I'm not nappy today, so I went and got my hair done.
Mm-mm.
I went and got my hair
That's
done
hilarious.
Yeah.
and trying to get myself prepared to go back to work. So I'm getting the stuff I need for my bag. So I finally went to go pick that stuff up. But it's been cool. I
Yeah.
found some work shoes. So good.
Look at you. You over here being productive.
I am. Listen, I am not in the things I would like to do, but I am being productive.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Hey, Fee, what's good? What's good? Big guy, man. What you got going on down in the comment section, buddy? Where you at, buddy?
What you say? Stop asking for more than you have to give.
Yep. Yep. That's like I was telling you guys last night. That's going to be talking about that consistency, clarity, and capacity. This is recognizing where someone is at, recognizing where you're at, and going with that. You know what I'm saying? Consistency, clarity, and capacity. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the highlights. Definitely when as a foundation point in a relationship. So definitely a foundation point. Justice says she agrees with that. So that's what's up, man. Um, because when I posted, I was like, most relationships don't fail because people don't love each other, right? Most of them fail because people lack consistency. They avoid clarity for things, and they overestimate their own capacity. Le Chile, what's going on? What's going on? And if you don't have those three things, man, love will always feel unstable.
Mm.
It's gonna feel unstable if you don't have those three things. I mean, think about it. If you're in a relationship and the person that you with is not being clear with you on things, you're always sitting there questioning. You're always going, Then if you got somebody who's not consistent, that means they're not showing up for you consistently when you may need them to show up. You feel me? And then, the capacity, some people really just don't have it in them to do certain things. They just don't have it. They don't have the capacity, the wherewithal sometimes to even do it. So we're gonna dig into it though. We're gonna dig into it.
It's a
But
fixation. Yeah, I understand.
you said it's a fixation?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. But everybody, welcome to the 100 100. we're gonna have a good time. We're not gonna be here for a long time, but it'll be for a good time. Um, Topic for tonight is stop asking for more than they have to give. This is a, a dig into consistency, clarity, and capacity. So the key points are going to be that consistency builds, trust. Consistency builds trust. Not the words, but it builds that. Because we understand that inconsistency will create, especially in the relationships and stuff, will create anxiety, um, confusion, emotional instability. Like that's what inconsistency things happen in a relationship. You know, um,
I
it's
think
one. It's like that. Go ahead,
I think I
Todd
get
girl.
what you're
Welcome in.
saying, but I feel like the biggest part of that is acceptance. Acceptance of believe people when they show you who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and not this false narrative of what you think you can do or what your capacity is. So like sometimes I will say in certain situations
Okay. Welcome
outside of
in.
relationships, I don't have the bandwidth for certain things. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
very upfront and transparent about that. Or I may not have the capacity. I've gotten so emotionally aware when I call people when I have an issue. I ask them
Mm-hmm.
what their capacity is for today before I start going in.
Right. Welcome
Right.
in, free. Yeah.
So I will say the acceptance, because when someone shows you that they can't show up for you and all of those three things, the acceptance of moving on, accept who they are to move ahead. But I definitely,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hard because we make up these, we, I can see the end before the beginning of this idea of things that I want to happen. And that person may
Right.
not be all those things. Yeah. A fixation or a false narrative.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, the acceptance of those things is definitely a part and an aspect of it. Um, but I want. I guess the only reason I really didn't put acceptance outside of it being three C's is because most time you've already accepted a person. Most people will end up accepting someone without having those other three parts. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll say, "Oh, okay, I accept this person. This person is good. All of these things," but they never actually had the in-depth conversation to say, you know, to understand what the person's capacity is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a rabbit hole. This thing can go down, right? It's a rabbit hole. But it's like when you think about if someone tells you if I gotta guess how you feel about me, that's already a problem. Chocolate, welcome up.
Hey,
You know,
chocolate. Oh yeah, I
Good
don't do
evening.
confusion. Oh yeah. Hey.
Hey.
yeah. And we talk about patterns. You know, patterns and patterns and promises. You know, but one thing about consistency will reveal intentions, not just the feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where the consistency plays the biggest part. At this big age, we trying to figure out life, man. We ain't, and have a better grasp on life. How are people showing up? Are they showing up, only when it's convenient?
Mm.
Ellen, welcome in. People have a tendency to show up when it's convenient for them, not when it's convenient for you. People will show up at the most inopportune times in your life because it's convenience for them, and they have no regards for what you got going on. None. You know. Um, Thank you everybody for the gifts. Welcome in. Um, Chocolate. Welcome in. We topic for tonight is stop asking for more than they can give.
Mm.
This is a highlight into consistency, clarity, and capacity. So jumping into number two, clarity. Where do we stand? You know, where do we stand? Like the idea of what clarity does. Clarity will eliminate confusion. You know, um, confusion is probably one of the biggest ones where people get hurt the most. Love Jones agrees. You know, confusion is where people get hurt the most because things that could have been discussed or said or whatnot is confusing. And if someone is confused, they end up the signals are off, right? Someone turns around and says, you know, I really appreciate this relationship. I love you, this, that, and the other. But if they're not being very intentional and being more specific about those things, it can lead the person to be confused. Or, you know, I really like hanging out with you, you know, kind of like our topic last night. Yeah, you know, about moving in. It brings still confusion. It's all confusing when someone, you know, like when two people living together and they've been living together for years, but they never truly have a title on what they are. That hurts when you turn around and you find out that one person is living with it as, oh, we've been together this long. I thought we was in a relationship. The other person like, nah, we just really roommates. You know what I mean? You know, it's jacked up, but that's the confusion part. You know, mixed signals, the lack of clarity. You know, it's horrible.
But what is the saying? What's understood don't need to be said, right? Is that the
That is a
saying, right?
saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
what's
agree
understood
with it.
doesn't have to be said.
I don't agree with it, but
Okay.
there is no but. I don't agree with it. And so anytime I've gotten where you have not drawn a line in the sand, I'm not visiting it with you. Like
Mm-hmm.
anytime there's confusion, I or things like that, I'm not even going to address it because I know jokingly I'm going to say this. I do not believe this, so that is a disclaimer. How do I know you like me if you don't give me money? Right?
I got
So
you.
if you don't make it plain, how do I, how do I know? So as a woman, I cannot propose to you, sir. You can propose to me, and it is on me to accept. So I feel like that within relationship, if you don't declare your intentions for me, it is not for me to seek what the intentions are, because the man will lead within that to show like or intent of. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
when I may have someone who's in like, but they are not, I don't want to say aggressive, but have not affirmed what it is, then I become very distant. I don't really have anything to talk about. I don't really entertain them, unless I'm available or free. But I do not make myself, like I don't make it a priority to deal with you. And so then I become a bad friend, or either a
Mm-hmm.
bad, um, just a bad person, because then I don't see the effort. So I'm the one that distance myself from a lot of people.
I got you. Um,
Chocolate.
Hey.
you
Um.
okay?
Yeah, I'm good. It's. I've been pondering this, so I haven't said anything. This is a brain teaser for me.
Hmm.
I think a lot of times we as women, we go through the "I love you, but." I love you, but, and he's a good man, but. And we go through the he's a good man, but, so we can get that ring. We can get that relationship that we think we want. Until the but becomes larger than the relationship. Let me explain. Can I cook? As the youngsters say. Marlon, I'm asking permission.
Go ahead
Yes.
and cook.
Yeah.
Burn it up.
Okay.
Let's go. Go
Okay.
for it.
He's a good man, but he cheats. He's a good man, but he's bad with finances. He's a good man, but he is unstable. He's a good man, but he doesn't know how to talk to me. He's a good man, but he's not romantic. He's a good man, but it's that but. Once you start to accept that but, just so that you can become that Mrs.,
Mm-hmm.
later on, that but becomes bigger, not no pun intended. That but becomes bigger than the relationship itself. Now it's overwhelming to you because you accepted the
Right.
fact that he couldn't manage finances. You accepted the fact that he couldn't hold down a job. He was not ambitious. He was a harsh speaker, a harsh communicator. You accepted these things so you can become Mrs. So now you have a man who's totally confused as saying, wait a minute. It was okay then, why is it not okay now? You know, you can't send those messages to these men. And I think a lot of times women do that. They will accept the but just so they become the MRS.
Mm-hmm.
You can't half stroke now. You it was okay 5 years ago. Now here we are 13, 14, 15 years deep, and now you want to be out for the same thing that you accepted me for 14, 15 years ago. Does that make sense?
It does. It
Okay.
does. No, no, no. It definitely does. That goes to the to the part of being clear and having clarity.
Right.
That goes directly along with that. Not being clear about what you're saying. You just sometimes that means just saying things and just to say it, um, with nothing backing it. Right.
Right.
Um, Andy said no earlier. I'm not sure what she was saying no about. Shay, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. I guess when she get a second, she could probably come in. But yeah, you cooked just then. So
No, we accept it. We tell him everybody that he's a good man, but he can't hold
hey
down a job.
sunshine.
You know what I mean? Okay, well, you knew he couldn't hold down a job. You knew he couldn't plan. He couldn't manage finances. He he's got 15,000 babies out there and he has no relationship with his children. But you still say he was a good man to marry. But don't get aggravated because he is a man who has no relationship with his children 4, 5, 6 years afterwards. You knew that he had the cheating type, but you accepted that so you could become the MRS. So you ate that. You ate that and you said, oh, well, he's a good man, but he cheats. He's a good man, but he doesn't hold down a job. He's a good man, but, you got to be
Despite
careful.
despite all of the other things.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I got you. I
So
got
now
you.
don't get mad at him because now your house is in foreclosure and y'all can't, you can't go on vacations like you used to, or he whatever the situation is, you can't get mad at them when you accepted it in the beginning. That's
Yeah.
not miscommunication. Don't be mad
Yeah.
because bro can't hold down a job and now you got to work 2 jobs to hold the family down. you know.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, that's. I mean, you spoke facts on that. You know, Again, that's the highlight of the whole conversation is um, consistency, clarity, and capacity.
Yeah.
You know,
You knew she couldn't
but
cook. You knew she couldn't cook. You knew she knew no way around the stove. You knew she didn't know how to manage a household. You knew she was out there for them street. You knew she liked to run the street with her
yeah,
friends. You knew she liked to overspend. But you said, I want you to be MRS anyway. Now
yeah,
it's
they
getting on your
come to
nerve. Now you want to backstroke.
that because all he was thinking about was the good, and all she could have been thinking about was the good. So
Exactly. Exactly.
confusion.
Like
Um,
I said, when there is no communication of what is to be, then I
yeah,
just take it as I'm not addressing it. And then I may not be in the picture long. So for me, I don't I don't feel like I guess you said we should have a conversation. But by people's actions, they show you. So then if I have a
Hmm.
conversation, then it looks like I'm begging you. So I don't want to feel like I'm begging to have an understanding when you're clearly your actions are showing me. So I'm really good at the, I want to say ghosting, but I'm really good at the relationship drifting away and not being available because I'm not in that pocket anymore. So I thought that maybe this could have potentially be something, and it's not. So
Hmm.
then I remove myself. So yeah.
I got you. No, I agree. Um, people who and free agree. Uh, people who want you won't keep you guessing. When someone truly wants you, they will never keep you guessing about anything. They're just to the point of what everyone's saying. They're just gonna be flat out just tell you what it is. Um, but sometimes one of the biggest things about clarity requires honesty
Mm.
and sometimes very uncomfortable conversations. You know, that's what clarity requires. Clarity requires honesty and uncomfortable conversations. In relationships and friendships, because sometimes you're going to have uncomfortable conversations that somebody's not going to like, but you got to have them.
Right.
You got to have them.
It's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil. You know what I mean? Um, you know, I have to ask the question sometimes: is are we being clear about things, or are we just filling in the blanks
Right.
with what we want to fill it in with?
You
You
know, I
know.
was talking to one young lady the other day in a panel, and the gentleman was saying that he wants a poly relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
she was getting ready to fall into that rabbit hole. But then me and my overthinking self said, well, what does that look like? Right? Because you want four women to only cater to you, but they can't have anybody else. Okay, what does that look like? So when you get tired of one of them, you can trade and swap them out at any given time.
Yeah,
And
that's what
everybody
they
went
do.
silent.
Trade it in, upgrade it.
Right. Everybody went silent. So now you may have taken this young woman when she was at her childbearing years. You've used her up for all her youth, right? And
Mm-hmm.
now she's past her childbearing years. She may get involved with somebody else, but now that you put her out, she'll get involved with someone else. Now she can't even have a child with a person that really loves her on a one-on-one. He may want a monogamous. Now she can't do what they could do to grow and be together forward because you sat there, you wanted a harem, you wanted concubines. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very selfish. So the gentleman said, it's not about what the women want, it's about what I want. Oh, put me on the
Ooh.
floor and call me a roach. I'm done. Oh, no. Oh,
Sit
no.
on the floor and call you a roach and get stepped on.
It's getting stepped on.
You're getting stepped on. Yeah. Yeah.
So you swap her out. What is it like when you're a senior citizen? Are we going to be 56-year-old geriatrics talking about we going to be swapping each other out? So you go to the nursing home, I'll just get somebody in your place. What the hell? What the hell?
Yeah. That
How does that
make,
look?
make that make sense.
Yeah, how does that look?
Yeah.
And they
Um.
they use these terms and these relationships now to make excuses why they don't want to commit and make a full commitment to one person. They try to
Mm-hmm.
glamorize this poly thing, or they glamorize, I don't believe in marriage, that's just a piece of paper. Negro, stop.
Yeah. I mean,
But
hey.
we also are talking about, I hate to say it, Christian men, and some parts of the Bible tends to come across as if they are slave owners, and it's only to fit their narrative. And so for me, when I look at it like that, it's only a piece of paper. But when you read more further into getting context, when you are married, God finds favor upon you,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
sometimes
know.
that's overlooked.
They can't use the rules in the Old Testament to apply to modern day. After the Ten Commandments was written and it was distributed amongst the people, now there are
Mm-hmm.
laws. Now there are rules. We have to go by the rules going forward. You want to go back into Leviticus, you want to go back into Deuteronomy, it doesn't apply anymore. Once the Ten Commandments was written, once there were rules, and adultery is not the favorite. Okay,
Hmm.
you go forward from there. Stop trying to say it's okay for a man to have multiple wives. Come on, people. First off,
Right.
for most men, it's hard enough for most men to deal with one woman. You want to deal with multiple women at the same time? Come
Right.
on. We give them gray hairs. What he gonna look like? He gonna look like Moses when he deals with 4 women.
But
All
see,
hair
here's
be all white, falling out. He'll be bald, scraping his head against the wall. Let's be
but
real.
here's what my thing is about that. Most of the time, when I've seen people who have attempted the poly situation, it is an oppressive man to a woman who is seeking something or love, right? And then in other situations, I've seen it where there is a woman who then decides to date a man who was a common guy that she thought was a good guy. And when she elevates him, and then he decides that he wants to take on another woman after she has done the said things to make their lifestyle lavish and she's the brains of the operation, then he wants to elevate in that way. Um, and so for me, I've never seen those relationships work out. I've always just stood back and watched the chaos because, like you said, one woman is hard to handle with the emotional aspects. But
Hmm.
I just feel like going back to the topic, if there is no clear, like you will make it plain, like I will never choose a man. He will choose, like once you are in like, and I know that I'm in like, I will have to be, you're gonna have to ask me to come into the door. Hey, you have to invite me in. That's how I feel. And
Okay, sinners.
you have to invite me in.
Right. I gotta
Yes.
invite you in.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta invite me in.
Yeah.
Because
Um.
that's how the enemy works. That's how Satan works. You don't have to sit up there and look for him. You're gonna give him a portal. And all he needs is a portal. And
No,
once
no,
he
no. But
gets
I
that
don't.
portal and you invite him in, he coming in.
But no, I don't mean it in a negative way like that. I mean as if to have clear lines, defined outcomes of what is going to be. That's what I mean. So for me, like you said, if there's no clarity in this whole situation, I
Right.
or no invitation, then I won't go. I won't be a part of it. I'll remove. I'll be busy all the time.
I got you. So I mean, we just hit the clarity part hard, right?
Hmm.
We hit the consistency part. Here's the big one: capacity.
Mm.
Can you actually handle me? Now
Oh.
this is now this is where we're going to go in at it, right? Can you actually handle me? So this is the part where I always when I have conversations about this, right? And people say, "Oh, you handle me?" Okay, what does that mean? Can you handle me means I'm gonna have a real conversation with you. I'm gonna tell you some things about me that you may or may not like, but I'm gonna tell you because I want to be very clear, and I want to let you know who I am, and need to know will you have the capacity to handle what I'm about to tell you about me?
Right.
Mm.
Because I've done the work. I know who I am. Now I need to know the person who I am now that has gone through the trauma and healed, that has, been kicked on, spit on, and all of that, and have made it through. Can you handle this person? Because not everyone has the emotional and mental capacity or the spiritual capacity for a relationship.
Mm.
I think that goes back to what I was saying before. It's like they say a lot of women are single for a reason. Well, we can see a train wreck. Some women can see the train wreck beforehand. That butt that I was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
they could see it on the front end. They say, well, you know something, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with a person that doesn't know how to manage money or who's never had responsibility or doesn't have a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with his children. So then the other woman will say, well, he's a good man, but I'll overlook that part. I'll overlook the fact that he can't keep a job. I'll overlook the fact that he's bad with money. He squanders money. I'll overlook that. Maybe someday he'll get better. Maybe if I'm around him, he'll get better. Well,
Yeah, that's
baby,
that's somebody that's trying to sit there and fix somebody.
right. And you're
Mm.
giving a false narrative. You're giving your
That's a
partner
false
a
thing.
false narrative that you could actually live with this, knowing in the back of your mind that, well, I'll say what he needs to say. I'll be supportive and I'll go out there and I'll do all those things. But later on, that stuff starts to wear and tear at your relationship. It starts to
Right.
wear and tear. Because if you knew it up front, or if you got an inkling that it existed, and you still say, shoot, I'll just do it because he wants to marry me, as opposed to the sister who says, I see that, and I see that's going to be a problem for me, so I'm not going to get involved with that, because that's going to be a big problem if I'm looking for the mortgage money and you out there on the islands with your boys smoking cigars on the beach and the mortgage ain't been paid.
Right.
So
So Cody
you got to
Crazy
be
said
honest with
in the
yourself.
comments, too soon you lower your shield. Even if the shield goes down, hold on in case it needs to rise. And too much chasing instead of looking at the truth.
Hello. Come on.
Boy, 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 boy.
That's it right there. Drop the
That
mic.
that
Walk
that
off
that
the
right there.
stage.
Too much chasing instead of looking at the truth. And a lot of times the truth is the thing that's sitting right there in front of you.
On your forehead and you
On your
ignore it.
forehead.
Mm.
On that
And you
lap you
ignore it.
sitting on.
Okay? Like, oh,
If
that's what
you
I was sitting
read.
on in the car.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
whole big thing was underneath me on the car seat and I didn't realize it. I knew someone was stabbing me in my butt, but I just ignored it because, I didn't want to say
Right.
nothing.
I ain't want to say nothing. Um, you can't expect a long term behavior from someone with a short term capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the biggest things that people will do. They're one person is thinking long term, but this person that you know that you're dealing with is only a short term person. They're not going to be able to run the run. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're not going to be able to run the run.
They can
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
run they can run the race, but they can't run that marathon. And
yeah,
relationships is a marathon.
yeah. Because potential in a relationship means nothing if a person doesn't have capacity.
That's right.
Yeah.
Potential is nothing. They don't. Potential will get you nothing.
It gets you a
Nothing.
broken heart and a headache.
Boy, you know, people have to stop dating. People people have to stop dating or seeking when they're dating potential and start dating capacity. People need to already have a certain capacity before you even start trying to date them. Because if you're dating for the capacity, the potential is already there. That's
Mm.
Right.
already there for somebody who has a capacity that can show you certain things.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, love is going to require that time, effort, communication, accountability. It's going to require all of those things, and it's going to require, like Andy said at the beginning, acceptance of a lot of things. Acceptance can be it's people can look at acceptance in different ways. A lot of people look at acceptance and can say it's negative. I think acceptance is a positive thing. You can
That's
accept
all
the fact that
therapy is.
yeah, that's all therapy is. Accept the fact that I'm a broken person, but I am on my journey of being healed. You know what I'm saying? That's
For my own
that's
self preservation. For my own self
yeah,
preservation.
no
Whether I'm with
doubt.
this person or not.
But here's the thing, when
So
you learn that you are your worst enemy, what I mean by that is that these patterns of repeating, they are your fault of the people that you entertain, and you're hoping from a different outcome, but they're just being presented. It's the same thing in a different package. Then it is for you to search yourself,
Right.
right? And so, and as
mhm,
hard as that walk is of isolation, because you will be cutting off people, your life will look new and it won't be the same. But the best way I could explain it to someone was you're holding on to a rope and it's being pulled and you're hurting your hand, and the reality of it is, if you just let it go, you will free yourself of it and it won't hurt. It's one of those situations of, like, I remember telling somebody when I was in my 20s, if it hurts when I'm with you and it hurts when I'm alone, feeling those emotions of loneliness, I would rather, it's the same emotion, so I should not deal with you. It's not, there's no good, there's no pro in this. There was more cons. So for me, if it hurts, even in friendships, if I got to talk negative about you when I get off the phone, we're not really friends.
Right.
Right. That's right. Cody Crazy Smith, welcome up to the panel. Welcome up. Okay. They dropped back
Oh,
down.
okay.
Okay. Um, are you asking someone to give you what they've never shown you they can sustain? That's the question. Are you asking someone to give what they never shown they could sustain? Okay, I think they're trying to come back up now. I don't know what happened.
Well, what do you do if that person is persistent? So, not just giving an example. So, if you know that you're declining on the offer, but they're just like, well, you've never dated me, or you're not giving me the opportunity. And you say, well, I know that you can't love me the way that I need to be. And so I'd rather cut my losses. Sometimes people can't take a no because they're like, well, you just need to get yourself together to see how I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I have had to
That's
stick
capacity.
firm to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's capacity. Uh,
But we
Cody,
also have to
welcome
be
back
very
up.
honest with ourselves as well. If we're asking someone to love us the way that we need, be very clear on what you need. Be very clear on what
Mm-hmm.
love looks like to you. You know, be clear. Because when you convey that message to a person on the outside, if they don't know how to love you the way that you need, they're going to love you the way that they love. And the way that they love may not be the way that you need. Be very
Right
clear.
on. Cody, welcome up. Welcome up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry, I hit the wrong button. I totally agree with everything that you are saying to a point. Like,
Okay.
unfortunately, it's almost like throwing a lot of what ifs and ifs. Like, if you took like trying to do an Excel spreadsheet, right? There's a lot of ups and downs and a lot of chemistry that goes up and down. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we talk about pulling the rope, I totally agree with it. And when we talk about, like going from one to the other, it's understandable. But there can be a lot of things that you don't agree on that you eventually do. But the issue is like a lot of people nowadays they chase the one thing. They don't chase their whole heart. They chase only what is pulling at their heart at that time. So that rope, when you talk about pulling that rope, at that point in time, you're only thinking about pulling that 1/5, or we'll just say 25%, because you're not actually physically thinking about the other 75%. Because right now you only need that 25%. So right now you're pulling in that pool of people for that 25% that at that time can sit there and satisfy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to let that go over a time and meet in the middle of that rope and stop pulling and start reaching. Because if you don't get past that 35% each, you're never going to meet, you will never meet in the middle. You will never. Like, it's facts. But if you can reach past that 35% and stop looking at that 25, we'll just say the 1/4 of the equation, right? So now I'm reaching for 2/4 of the equation. So I'm reaching for half of the equation now, or at least I'm trying to reach the 35-40% of that 50%. If
Mm-hmm.
if both parties can reach 35 to 40% of each other's goals and their needs and wants and what they're feeling, then you can work it out. The issue is you only reaching for that. They're not even reaching for 25%, to be honest. Like, especially nowadays.
Mm,
You're not
right.
even reaching for 10%. You're reaching for that. It's a tug of war. Let me get that 10% right quick, and that's it. I'm out. Or let's see how long that's gonna hold. And that's where the hardships, the cost, everything happens.
Right.
Everybody's holding on to that 10%. Stop trying for that 10%. Go for the 35. If you go for that, I promise you, you're gonna find it.
But that's why the
So
name of
that's
this
one of the
podcast is
things.
100 because we're
Right.
supposed to
That's
show
where I was
up.
going.
Oh, go
No,
ahead, go
I
ahead.
get that, and I 100% get that.
Yeah.
But you're never
Yeah.
gonna get to 100. I'm 40 years old and been married. Next month be 21 years. I'm in the military 19 years. I'll retire next year. 20 years. I have a lot of differences compared to my wife. She's
Mhm.
seen a lot of stuff, so she ended up being a therapist, seeing, not conforming to me and not trying to be my therapist, but she's seen the struggles. So that's what she did. But if you look at it, and it's not conforming towards me, because I'll tell you, there's many a nights. I spend more nights home not speaking to my wife or speaking less to my wife than when I'm deployed. And it's one because the whole safety thing, right? So you got to have that safety thing, but you're never going to reach that 100%. Like, to be honest, you need to reach that 35 to 35. Or if you can reach that 75-25 and you can keep bouncing back to 65-45,
Mhm.
and if you can keep jumping those things, then you'll be all right. But you're never going to reach that 50-50 and that 100%.
You know what? But I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree on that, right? And this is why I say that. I've known my wife, for almost 30 years, right? And we give 100% of ourselves, right? We give 100% of ourselves. Does that mean that we will show up sometimes less than 100? Absolutely, because life will life, right? But it's the mindset that we have for each other is I am going to go into this at 100% because, but I'm also going to communicate with you when I am not at 100. So you can, so that other, if you coming in at 50, I might need to come in at an extra, I might need to recognize that you're coming in at 50. And if I'm coming in at 50 as well, I mean, together that's 100. But there are going to be times when it's going to be that 70-30. It's going to be times when it's not that. But it's the capacity to be able to be at 100, right? It's
Right.
the capacity to be at 100. You got to, if you don't, if you don't think, if you feel, if you say, hey, I don't have the capacity to be 100, then you'll never be at 100 because in my opinion, the mindset at that time is, well, I don't think that I can do that. So I'm not even going to work towards that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But even when I am at my lowest, I still always try to give 100. I give like a prime example today. Today supposed to be my off day. I'm not even supposed to be here. But life was just life in the day, and everything that could have happened has happened. But I still made sure that I did the things that needed to be done, even though it was challenging for me to do it. That's still saying I am going to still try to show up at 100 and put in that 100, whether it ends up at 60, whether it ends up at 80, it doesn't matter. It's the mindset of I'm still going to push to that 100, regardless of, despite that.
It's the
No, and that's
willingness.
what I mean about the 35-35, because at the end you're over the 50% because you're never going to be at the 100%. And I totally agree with what you said, and that's what I'm saying, but I'm saying it in a more microeconomics standpoint.
Mhm.
But what you said is exactly what I said. it may not seem that way. But
Mhm.
yes, like 100%. Like if one day I show up 25%, like she's gonna give it over 75% because we're gonna go over 100%. Like you ain't never gonna catch that 100%. You're gonna go over it. Somebody's always gonna help that portion out. And that's what I
I
was
got,
saying about like tugging a rope. Like
I got you.
as
I got
long as long as both people are pulling over that 35%, then it's all right. But there is going to be occasions, like you were saying, like no matter what you're doing, somebody needs to cover it, right?
I got
And
you.
that totally makes sense. I didn't
I
mean it
got you.
to.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. That's real. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah. I mean,
real.
you clarified it in an easier
Yeah,
aspect, but yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Big guy, what's up, bro?
Shawty!
What's happening, chocolate? What's going
Hey,
on,
man, we got
everybody?
it. We
Hey,
got it.
Andy, how are you? What's up, Free to Be? How's everybody doing in the chat?
Hello.
Yeah, my signal was garbage earlier.
Well, I'm glad you got that thing straight now.
Your signal is sick.
Yeah, they couldn't do nothing.
You know how that signal go. You know how it is. Yep.
What's your
Um.
input, Shorty?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got here. What are we talking about? Yeah, I know it's everything and nothing, but
No, it ain't
Oh
everything and
no, this is
nothing.
panel tonight, you young
It's
man.
panel.
Keep up, keep up.
oh shoot, this is Val. My bad.
It's panel.
What's
I
that?
know. I'm not. I'm not. I'm usually not at work, so
Ah,
that's what confused them.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all mixed up. I'm an hour behind. Uh, I'm at
Yeah.
work.
Right.
Body's all
No, but
thrown off.
he
What are we
all
talking
thrown.
about? What are we
So
talking
the
about?
topic for tonight is stop asking for more than they can give. We was breaking down uh, consistency, clarity, and capacity. That's what we was breaking down.
Consistency,
And the
clarity.
brother up
Clarity
here,
and
man, he was really
capacity.
breaking it down. And capacity is the last thing that we were on, which is huge. You know, the capacity for people to have and be able to do certain things. But I'm
Right.
sure Chocolate can give you a quick little highlight right quick while I go shut this down right quick. Chocolate.
Oh God. Well, I'll do the best I can. Thank you so much, host. All right. So basically, what we ask of people, are we willing to accept the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent in order to achieve the goals that we want to in a relationship?
Most
Right?
part.
So if we know what the red flags are, do we ignore the red flags just so that we can have the companionship we want? Or do we talk about the red flags and try to work on them so we can have the relationship that we need? Andy, was that it pretty much in a nutshell?
Yes, that was basically it. And just going over the fact of having certainty, having the hard conversations up front. And it may not be the conversations that you want to hear. And also making sure that actions are reflections of the words that you are speaking for the relationship.
Right. Like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah. I thought you did a good job though. But
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I do get it.
Do you
Right.
want to ponder your answer for a while or can you fire away?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't want to have those hard conversations. You know, they have their own red flags, and they choose to ignore them if they want, and or not ignore them. But when you find somebody that's willing to uh, that can sit down and have the hard conversation with you about them, then I think that deserves you know something. I'm not saying that it should be any type of kudos given out. I'm just saying that that person is willing to have that hard conversation with you. I mean, they must care something about you in that way, or a way that it matters to them, and regardless of what you say. Am I making sense? Or
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
okay, at
Yeah.
least that's how I feel. That's that's how I would want the playing field to be. Is that you don't see a representative. You're able to see my book and read my page just like me, and it'd be the same thing.
Right. Okay. Um, another part of it, when we was um talking about those particular um parts of it, like I said, Cody was up there and Cody had brought out some stuff. Andy brought out some stuff as well. And chocolate. Um, let the phone stop ringing. What Keita say?
It's his
Two phone
adoring
shots.
fans calling him. Come hither, young man.
Yeah. Um, when we think about the digging in, yeah, Cody was dope. Cody was real dope. I like that. Cody got to come back again. Um, uh, we don't get too many brothers up here all the time. Um, you know, and I like having some brothers up here. Um, when we kind of thinking about that consistency part, we got to think consistency versus intensity. You know, people can get into these things and think, oh, this person is being consistent because they are, the intensity of it feels so good, and
Right.
we confuse that with consistency. Two totally different things.
Yes, Lord.
Um, Raymond said he wants to chime in. Um, yeah, you can chime in, man. We can chime in, definitely. Um, I don't mind letting people come in and add in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, request up real quick. I think he did. I just seen it. All right, give me 1 second. Let me switch. I need to switch my devices right quick. Hopefully, I don't
We might
disconnect
lose you.
everybody.
I hope not.
Most likely I won't. If I do it while I'm here,
Hold the phone.
there.
Look at that. It's Marlin Part 2.
Yep.
Marlin 2.0.
Marlon 2.0. Raymond, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I sent my heart thing. Did you get it?
Yeah. I got the heart me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just became your fan on your thing too.
Okay. What you got to add to it?
Before I add anything, I wanted to ask what's the topic of the discussion because I know I
So,
missed some things.
no, you're good. So the topic is stop asking for more than they have to give.
Um, I'm gonna put it this way: when it comes to being in a relationship with friends or in love with someone, it kind of goes both ways. Like you don't have to give that person anything.
Uh huh.
Um, that's optional. That's on you. That's your choice and your decision. That's on you. But if you're in love with someone, whether it's your wife or your husband or your fiance, and y'all actually decided to commit to a relationship, it goes both ways. Sometimes you may have ups and downs, but it's and sometimes you gotta make what I call sacrifices, to get something. And it's not about one person; it's about communication. You got to have that balance of communication, and you got to have that trust. If you don't have that trust, and it's most times it's not going to work. you gotta have boundaries. You gotta know where that person stands, and you gotta know how, when, and where to set those things. As far as giving somebody something, like I said, that's on you. If in return, it's also on them. They don't have to do it, but they do it out of the kindness of their heart because they care about you. And I do it all the time. I don't mind giving somebody some stuff here and there, and I do it because I love that person, and I do that because I care about that person. That's just how I am. Everybody is different, and I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself too as well. And you know, it's when you are even after you guys decided to get married. I'm using that as an example. It's 50-50. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, and you have to balance those things. You have to have some sort of way to be able to uh, compromise when you're in those types of situations. It's not about him, and it's not about her. It's about y'all too. But if you're not on that level, and you're on a friends level, and you go out and having fun together, uh, that's a totally different situation. But I have never asked anybody for something. If I did, that's my choice. I choose to ask people for a few bucks here and there, or some favors here and there. I choose to do that. I didn't have to. It's not a requirement, and it's not mandatory. I chose to do it. That's out of your own free will. So, and it's vice versa. That's out of her own free will. She chose to help you out in this situation. She chose to help you do this and that. That's out of her own free will. She did it because she cared about you and she loved you to death. And the same with the friendship level. Y'all building a bond. It's called a bond. You're building that trust, and you're building that foundation. As you do that, you learn from your mistakes, and you continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. Of course, you're going to fall short, and make so many errors, but you have to figure. But you have to know. Uh, it's just a matter of trust. You can't trust everybody you know. You can't trust everybody you meet.
I'm
When,
sorry. I'm sorry, Raymond. Give me 1 second. Marlon, can you beam me down? I got duty calls. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right, appreciate you.
Be easy, Breezy.
Um,
because, and as I was saying, one thing for sure, not everybody is not going to be your friend, and you can't trust everybody you meet. However, Marlon, there is an exception to that. Hold on, I'll call him back. I can call him back. There is an exception to that. There are times when someone is going to ask you for a favor, but you have to ask yourself: Can I trust that? Can I trust that person? Can I really? Can my heart trust that person? And if you can, that's on you.
yeah, I
Sometimes
mean, everything you just said, man, that definitely ties into the topic of basically in a nutshell of having clarity and consistency and capacity.
right.
Asking
You're right.
asking of
You're right
somebody
about
those
that.
things, those are all in alignment with those particular things, and I definitely appreciate you adding what you had to add into it. I'm gonna hit a couple of more points before we push off, though. I want to make sure I get these other couple of points off. When we thinking about the clarity part of it, silence. People got to realize with clarity, silence is an answer, right? Silence is an answer. No answer is an answer. Um, even when you avoid a conversation, it's still communication. You're communicating something that you're avoiding something, and that you don't necessarily even have the capacity at that point to have a conversation. It's again, it's one of those things where we can go down a rabbit hole um, of things. But I want to say it was talking about sometimes people will over-explain red flags. They over-explain it so they can have a reason to ignore them. There's no
Mm.
clarity. You know what I mean?
Right, I
Uh,
feel you on that. I feel you on that.
yeah. And then, understanding that capacity isn't just about love. It's about emotional maturity. It's about communication skills. It's about time availability. It's about, how do you resolve conflict? You know, a lot of people don't have the true capacity to understand how to resolve over certain conflict that they're having, right? Everything is a conversation. Um, you know, when you think about capacity in the sense of like temporary capacity versus sustainable capacity, right? Anybody can show up for 30 days.
Right.
I can show up for 30 days, but who can maintain it for 6 months, a year, long term? That's the part that people forget when they think about when it comes to capacity. That's a you got to be able to show up, all the time. There's gonna have you have to understand that life is gonna have a bunch of different seasons, and life seasons do matter when you're trying to be in the capacity of having a relationship. Um, the
True.
season that some people are in doesn't mean that they like character. They just like capacity in the season that they're in because they
True.
don't they don't know how to do certain things. Um, but that's pretty much I got for everybody on everything tonight. I wasn't going to be on here long tonight because I got some other things that I need to go and take care of. But I did want to have the session for tonight, and everybody that's here, I definitely want to appreciate everything. Let's see. I know I missed some comments from Matt down here. Let me see. Communication is good, but how many parts of communication do you hear? I don't. Communication has a lot of parts because there's the parts that you don't hear as well, which is still a form of communication, like I was saying earlier. Um, um, so let's see. I'm making sure I'm missing. I'm not even a therapist. I'm just a realist. Matt, that's like my whole saying. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a man who's been through some things, right? I understand where my capacity is. I got you, big guy. I feel you. I got you. I figured it was it drop you down, but it's cool because I'm about to slide out anyway. Um, I definitely appreciate everybody coming on tonight, dropping down some jewels. Everybody down in the comment section, but we'll be back next week. We'll have something up to do it. Buckle up, Buttercup. It may be rough and it may be easy. Yeah, you got that right, Matt. Hey, but everybody be safe out here. Much love to everybody. Um, No, I appreciate that, Free. I try to be consistent. As like I said, even like everybody that's on here, this is a relationship that I have with people here. I try to show up and be consistent. I got to make sure that even when I know I can't show up, I need to communicate. Hey, I can't do those certain things because I know everybody's getting something from this, just like I get something from it. So I need to make sure that this is, that I do my part, right? Um, yeah, that's it. So I mean, you guys have a blessed evening. You know, love on somebody, and I'm gonna get at y'all. Peace.